Howdy all, welcome to Lex Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. So plan is do a little more exploring today. I feel like my volume settings are not correct yet. Can we turn this down just a little bit more here? So there's a new patch. Oh, that scared me. Did you see that plant just drop in there? So we got a new patch, which says start a new world, but I don't want to start a new world. So we're gonna continue with the world I got, and hope that there aren't too many crossover bugs here. I did pick up a couple of points to spend, right? One of the things I read is that everything's unlocked, or no, your intelligence attributes are now unlocked. They're not, so we can go ahead and get this, and then as soon as my other point comes back from my apparently recent death, oh, are you kidding me? I gotta wait 20 minutes? This is not a short amount of time, man. I don't know if I can survive for 20 minutes. I'm a little too reckless for that. But I definitely am hoping to get a little bit more point-wise in here and unlock the forge. That's going to be sweet. If you can get to the forge. Some things are still locked behind. See, that's at level 10. Okay. Level 10's a little more obtainable, I think. I'm level 9, so we just gotta get one more level. Because it was level 20. So level 10 to get metal tools. I feel much better about that. Level 20 was a little too much of an uphill climb. Oh man, I am. Nope. Nope. There you go. Level 20 is a massive uphill climb to get to your first set of non-stone tools, right? That seems ridiculous. Put an arrow in your head. Put another arrow in your head. Oh, apparently I put an arrow in your forearm. Give back my arrows. Alright. I really, I didn't make it all the way through the Navezgane map that I was playing through before. It has been a long time since I played. I don't really remember much in the way of how this map is laid out. Like, I remember Dyersville, but I know it's had some changes to it. Dyersville is where I used to do my weapon testing back in the day. Back when they first introduced some of the weapons, I remember I used to lay out hay bales and shoot hay bales until they broke to test out like range and damage and stuff on the different weapons. So I am familiar with. Oh, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Oh. Apparently I'm just going to slam my club into the ground. There we go. Scary zombies. This is a lumpy road. I was kind of hoping maybe we'd find a vehicle, since I know I can't make them, but I feel like they ought to be. Oh, that scared me too. Everything's scary today. Oh man, I tell you a story. so, so um, last night they were like, well, not last night, but yeah, yesterday afternoon. Uh, I thought I had the day off. I didn't. So yesterday afternoon, I was like, all right. Uh, or no, I slept in till about noon, and I got up about noon, and I started. Oh no, I don't want to play with that one. I started off getting my breakfast and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're having a kids party here tonight. So there's gonna be 6 or 7 little kids here, between the ages of 4 and I don't know, she must be 9 or 10. I guess it's not really a little kid at that point, but uh, young kids, and so it was a pizza party. So I no 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 bad Wolfie, bad Wolfie, bad Wolfie. Actually, bad Wolfie. Whew, that was scary. Everything's scary. Uh, oh, let's try out the shiv on this. It does have a power attack. Uh oh. How are we doing behind me here? Okay. Ooh, it does not have a great range though. Oh, look at my XP's going down for killing these zombies. Ooh, I thought I got too close in on that. Ooh, I'm level 10. And I got a bunch more XP for that. Stop moving. I don't trust you. Whew. So, I opted not to join the kids' party. I just snagged some pizza and came back down. And so they had told me when they said there was a kids' party that they'd also gotten some movies if I wanted to watch the movies. Actually, I think they told me Thursday night they'd gotten some movies, and I'm like, well, I'm busy tonight, so I can't watch it tonight. But maybe tomorrow night. I think that, and then Friday, like, oh, we were watching a movie, but now we got a kids' party. I forgot about the kids' party. And so I'm like, oh, and they're like, well, maybe after the kids' party's over. I'm like, well, you're the parents, so I mean, I feel like that's gonna be pretty late. They're like, no, it'll be fine. And so we started watching the movie, and all the kids had gone home except 2 at that point. Obviously, my niece and nephew were still here, but and so the movie we were watching was The House with a Clock in Its Walls, and the 2 kids who were here, their mother had watched the movie already. I don't know why she watched it, but not her kids, and said that it was okay for them to watch it. And so, I got a decent setup down here, surround sound, and couch and chairs and television, and the living room upstairs, which is where we normally watch stuff. The second love seat. Uh, and the floor in the living room is hardwood, and so down here it's carpeted. And so I'm like, hey, why don't we just watch it downstairs and we watch with the surround sound. They can camp out on the floor, and you guys can sit on the couch, and everybody be comfortable. And so they all came down here about 9 o'clock to watch it. Probably about 9:30. And so we start watching this movie, and it's a movie. If you haven't seen anything about it, it's a movie about this kid in the 1950s whose parents die, and he goes to live with his weird uncle, played by Jack Black, and and so Jack Black is a warlock who lives with another witch, platonically. They're friends, not a couple, who can't work her magic anymore because of things that have happened in her life. And so, um, dang it. And so the kid finds out, right, that they do magic. And so he begs them to teach him to do magic. And so, all that's fine. The kids aren't bothered by any of that. But then as it progresses, there's one rule. And obviously, oh man, yeah, there's one rule. The kid's going to break it. And so there's a book in a cabinet. Although the key is in the cabinet too, like in a drawer on the cabinet, so you just open the drawer, pull out the key, and undo the lock that's supposed to be holding back this horrible spell book. And so the kid opens it, and then there's this kid at school who's like his first friend because he's a weird kid. And the kid's only nice to him because he's running for class president, which isn't something we had when I was in school. I'm not saying that people don't do it. I'm just saying my school did not do that kind of thing. And so after that's all over, the kid's no longer nice. And so he wants to do something to impress the kid and, make him be his friend again. And so he he gets the book out. And the book is a necromancy book. And so they sneak into the graveyard at night and they use the book. And they wind up using the book on an evil warlock who lived in the house that the kid now lives in. And what he doesn't know is that the only reason his uncle lives there is because the clock on the wall is something evil, and they are trying to find it and shut it down before whatever evil is supposed to happen happens. And so up to this point, the kids are okay. And then they go to the graveyard. Oh, crap. I'm bleeding. Band-Aid. We gotta make it to the end of this death thing so that I can get my point back. I don't know why they didn't let my club hit earlier. How much longer do I have? 6 more minutes. I need some food too. I think we could sneak into this house here and see if there's any food. Bars on the windows. I need food. Oh. Weird. There's a torch up here. Oop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know I'm hungry. I'm here looking for food, all right? Oh, that was a lucky blow. And so they raise this guy from the dead, and the coffin lid opens, and the one kid the one kid starts freaking out, right? And so he covers his face, and oh, an ammo pile. Never seen one of those before. And oh well, this is not. How do they get in their attic then? Is there a stairway buried here somewhere, or? Whoa, whoa. Oh, I guess you came down from below. Oh, dude, I took her out with one blow. That's the first time I've managed to do that. No, get away from me. Dang it. Dang it. Oh, man. Like these zombies coming up, trapping me in here. And so, okay, so this is what I gotta decide really. I have food back at my base. Right? That's my base. So I feel like I should head back to my base just in case I can. And my bellows are there, so I really should head back to my base. I really should. So let's do that. We're just gonna head back to my base. Um, so the coffin opens up and the dude's hand comes out and it's a bony hand, and they have me pause the movie and ask the two kids if they want to go home or they want to stop the movie and we can finish it later when they're not here, and they're like, no, no, we want to watch it. And so we start the movie back up, and the skeleton hand fleshes over, but it's got maggots crawling all over it. And the one kid, he's done at that point. He is laying with his face behind his sister's back. He's like 6. And then and I'm like, this movie looks like it might be a bit much for kids. And like, well, their mother watched it and said it'd be okay for him to watch. And I'm like, well, what about your kids? Like, I know the one doesn't care, but I feel like the other one's the 5-year-old. She isn't gonna care because she likes that kind of stuff. The 8-year-old, on the other hand, he gets creeped out and has nightmares. So, like, no, it's okay. Just start it back up. And so they go a little bit more, and then eventually they get to a spot where one of the bad guys is a shapeshifter, and so when they come out of their shapeshift, they shake their head violently, and I mean, it's CGI. They're not whipping their head back and forth that hard, but they're all distorting into their other shape, and that was it. The girl who's like 9 or 10 turns around and faces the couch, and that's where they quit. And so after they all left, I went ahead and finished it, and I'm like, yeah, that movie only gets worse from there. And so nobody else has finished watching it yet, but I was pretty surprised. I mean, I thought it was a kids movie. It was pretty creepy for a kids movie. The, I mean, it wasn't like a horror movie necessarily, but there were some horror elements into it that's a little more than they usually put in a kids movie like that. Creepiest thing was Jack Black. At one point, got hit by magic and turned into a baby, but he still had the adult Jack Black's head on it. That was some creepy looking CGI. Uh, it was an alright movie. Um, I don't think it really led to anything new. It was basically every single orphan kid goes to live with his magic relatives and becomes the chosen one to save the world kind of thing, you know. Uh, hey, you know what I have not seen? Did they get rid of screamers? Which is a good movie, Screamers. I like that movie. That's an old sci-fi horror movie. Uh, so another horror movie I did watch. Unfortunately, I did not think was very good. Um, I was very disappointed in Hellraiser Judgment. Uh, I really, really like Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 4. I can't remember. I think maybe 2 and 3 are okay, and then like Hellraiser 6 or 7, one of those two is pretty good. Most of them are not great. As per all horror movies that they make that many sequels to. Um, and so I'm watching the new Hellraiser movie, right? Hellraiser Judgment, and make sure I'm in the right spot here. And I was disappointed. I feel like I watch a movie and it it forms a meaning in my head, and then nobody who makes the sequels to the movies ever gets the same concept. And this was not great. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like the virtual reality one or the frat party one, but it was pretty bad. It was. Uh, I I don't understand where the house came from. Like, I get that in the first movie they're in a house for most of it, but the house is not part of the Hellraiser anything, right? And it was just a house they happened to be in when the movie was going on. The house is not summoned by the puzzle box. It's not part of the Hellraiser um I don't know, dimension, I guess. So I don't understand, but it starts off with they're talking to Pinhead, and they're like, there's like this dude, and like the Cenobites are usually super creepy, and a lot of times there's like meaning to the way they look, and um, the main Cenobite, who's basically the star Cenobite of the movie, because Pinhead's barely in this thing, just has a few cuts on his face, and he's more like a lawyer. And he uh, he brings in people, or no, they trick people to come into the house because the puzzle boxes are relics from a bygone age, apparently, and so they're not the central part of the movie now. Which is stupid because that's the central part of all the other movies. I mean, it's not Halloween 3, where they completely detach themselves from the main story, but so they bring in this guy and or they trick him to come to this place. And so he comes to the house, and the guy makes a comment that the house is growing smaller. And I'm like, oh, okay, well that's weird. That's also weird. Did I? Oh no, this is the next row back, right? I didn't do this row of houses. And I kind of like that they've done what they've done with these buildings on here. To sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here for a second, but I kind of like what they've done because it looks like other people have tried to survive and have been killed instead of everything looking like you're the only person and everyone in the entire world just instantly became a zombie. Um, but anyway, so they bring him to the house and then they ask him to relate his sins, and the guy types them up on a typewriter. Only they don't actually have him list his sins for the most part. They kind of like montage their way through it, and then they bring in the examiner who eats the paper, and then once he eats it, he vomits it into a funnel, and then that goes into a room with these three Cenobite women who are kneeling in front of the trough, and then they, I guess, taste it. They didn't show what they did with it actually, and then they make their decision based off of, I guess, what it tastes like. I don't know. It didn't make any sense, um, and so then they clean him, and then he goes to the butcher to be, I don't know, butchered. They never really explained what they were doing because it's so different from the other movies. I don't know what was supposed to be going on. It was crazy, and so there's a serial killer because there's a cop procedural going on in the background of this movie. That then comes to the forefront after that, and so it becomes a cop procedural, and then the cop's a bad guy. Only he's so bad, right? I mean, he's so bad that he nearly kills the examiner and the judges by how bad he is. But he didn't really sound that bad. Like, he killed people, but I mean, really? Just didn't seem that bad to me. And yeah, so it was. There's my clay. I don't know if I have enough stuff to actually build this thing. I might have to go out and. Oh, right, food. I need food. Here you go. Here's some chili. Here's a can of miso. Here's some sham. Oh, I got more sham. Does this work like the food? It does. Yeah, I gotta watch that stuff. I keep forgetting that this stuff's got a timer on it now. Alright, now I should be able to unlock forges. Check it out. Alright. Ooh, I can unlock bicycles now. We're definitely going to want to do that. I feel like I should. I don't have any points left. I thought I got another point, but I guess I spent a point on the other thing. So I need to make a forge. Forge. What do I need? I need 93 stone, or I have 93 stone. I have 93 stone. I need 60 clay soil and a short iron pipe. There's my pipe. I know at one point I had everything I needed. Oh yeah, there's a ton of clay soil right there. Okay. Scrap that. Let's make my forge. Yay! Forge! Alright. We'll bring that over here. I kind of want to get rid of this thing. Let's get this out of my way and I'll put my forge there. I don't know what it is. What am I getting out of this? Rocks? Okay, well, I'm switching to the other tool then. and it was really disappointing. And like this angel showed up, and the angel was like, "Release him," and so they make a comment about how he's innocent. But then they later said that he was so evil that he was too evil for the judgment of Pinhead's people. And it was just like, it was not good. And then it ended, and this was the part that really irritated me. Man, I hope this works the same way as it did before. Start getting that iron in there. How much do I need to build my anvil? 1,000 iron and 100 clay. All right, I'm gonna get 100 clay, but phew, I do not have 1,000 iron yet. I do have iron in there. Here's some iron. Okay. Start scrapping some of this stuff because I can convert it over. I only kept a bunch of it because I couldn't build a forge, but now I can build a forge, so... And I can open my stuff. It's awesome. Man, I got so many of these wrenches. I don't know. I forgot to stop and get my other stuff. Okay, we don't get rid of that. I got too many of these pistols. Ooh, you think that means that I can go and finish off my quest here to talk to the trader? Because I wasn't able to talk to the trader before. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. All right, well, I guess I am gonna go ahead and call it here. Oh, yeah, I want to finish my story first. But yeah, it was terrible. Pinhead's only in it for a couple of minutes. Him and the angel have a scene together, which was kind of stupid. And the angel's like, we're in charge, and we want this guy on the streets to show people what evil is. So we want him released. And Pinhead's like, hey, he's been judged, and so he needs to be judged, and so he agrees that they'll send him back out there, and they send him back out there, and he immediately gets killed, and then the angel's all like, "You knew that was gonna happen," and but the part that really irritated me, other than the fact how terrible this movie was up to this point, was at the very end of the movie. They've got the angel, and Pinhead is now torturing her. And so they repeat the scene from the end of the original Hellraiser, which is an amazing horror story. And so they repeat the end of the Hellraiser, where they string up the person using hooks and stuff that come out of the walls, and then she says Jesus wept, and then they tear her apart just like they do at the end of the original Hellraiser. Only she uses her power then to banish them from the afterlife, so they're mortals again at the end of it, I guess. And so then it ends with Pinhead in a cardboard box in an alley with other homeless people, crying about how he's been cast out because she was the original angel of that guarded Eden, and so she exiled, Adam and Eve, and so obviously she's exiled them. It was not good, and I really hated the callback to the original movie because it didn't mean the same thing. The angel obviously would know the Bible. The dude in the first book, or the first movie, said Jesus wept because it was probably the only scripture verse he could think of. And he thought it would have some impact on them, which it didn't, because they're only doing what they're supposed to. Whoop, I didn't want to talk. Sorry, I am used to hitting T for transfer. I guess this box will be my hold on to things, and then you can be my food box. How do you like that? And you can be my weapon stuff box. This one's my general stuff box. Alright. So yeah, so did not care for it. Alright, with that, click like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one, and I will talk to you later.